Santa?
Yeah.
I can hear fucking Oliver's gargles.
Him and Finn are wrestling.
It just sounds like fucking Oliver's just like.
Well, that's because that's exactly what he's fucking doing.
Yeah, that's all I hear. It's just fucking.
That sounds like the girl from The Ring.
Actually, that was me. I was the girl from The Ring.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got a pretty good check from that.
Yeah, I bet. Fucking man.
Yeah, I had to cut my hair though afterward because it's too greasy.
Because you look like an emo girl.
It's not. I mean, emo girl is kind of the look I'm going for, if we're gonna be honest. But I was getting recognized on the street and be like, "Hey, you're the thing from The Thing," and I was like, "Oh yeah,
You're the thing."
hey, you're that thing." And I haven't grown my hair out since.
I haven't had long hair in a long ass time.
Yeah, I don't think I typically. I mean, my hair just like I grow it and then I don't cut it. And then eventually I'm just like, oh wait, I look like I'm homeless. I look like Kevin.
Kev is on a different level of homeless.
Yeah, Kevin. You see, but Kevin like takes care of his hair.
He did try to talk to me the one day about I was like, yeah, I'm not talking to you about this.
I love it.
Because I used to have long hair and I used to like let conditioner sit in my hair for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, when you had your hipster haircut.
Yeah. No. Like in high school when my hair was like a foot long.
Oh. Wait, you had your hipster haircut and your hair was long.
It was long, but it wasn't super
It wasn't like
long.
entirely long too.
Like I could man bun it, but not like six
Not in
man
all
buns.
of its glory.
Yeah.
What a shame. Wow, you're a coward for getting out of that.
For cutting it.
Yeah, how dare you? How dare you want to be presentable to the public?
Although I did decide today
What is up, you dopes? Welcome back to another episode of the Fetch and Shock podcast. Joining you, as always, is me, your host, a wasted B&R announcement, Tyler. And then joining me is my co-host, an announcement for another announcement, Matt. Matt, what is going on, dude?
the announcement for the announcement.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking
Yeah,
dum-dums.
that's what we got today. Yeah, B&R season is apparently as never-ending as spoiler season is.
About to say they're the same fucking thing.
Yeah, it just seems it's cyclical now. Every time that something new comes out, something has to get taken out of that new thing that came out because it's too good.
Just fuck it all up.
Yeah. So before we dive in, a nice little reminder that if you are interested in supporting the Fetch and Shock podcast and other content that we produce, you should head over to flipsidegaming.com. They are your best source for Magic singles, sealed product, and supplies. And if you use code FETCH at checkout, you can get 10% off of your order. So go buy all of your Field of the Deads before they get banned in Standard.
No, buy them after they get banned. And then they'll be even
yeah, you're
cheaper.
right. Oh, now we're an MTG Finance podcast.
Now
So-
MTG Finance.
Buy after it gets banned because cheap.
Yes.
Okay.
That's when I bought Deathrite Shamans, is when they got banned in Modern. I said, yeah, I'll take.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a bad time to buy.
And then they got banned in Legacy, and now there's like 9 printings of them for one format.
Yeah.
2
and-
formats if you count Commander and Cube.
I mean, yeah, Cube's like really the only other format. Just, like, do people play Deathrite Shaman and Commander? It just seems kind of useless.
It's a really good mana dork because it does other stuff.
I mean, but people aren't putting lands in the graveyard as common as Modern, Legacy, and Vintage. Like, I feel like it's a lot less consistent of a mana dork.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It does other stuff too. It
Sure, I
gives you
mean,
some
it's a
life,
utility 1-mana creature. I heard
drains some
Planeswalkers are good in
stuff.
Commander, so...
Yeah, that they are.
But we had some things happen this week in Magic, so let's jump in and start talking about them. First of all, we had a banned and restricted announcement that came around, and nobody really cared about it because nothing was really causing any problems in Magic, at least at that point. And by at that point, I mean like Monday.
Yeah,
It was the 7th.
2 days ago.
Yeah, and there was no Twitter arguments about it. There was no drama. There was no people screaming that the sky is falling and everything's burning and going to blow up because nothing was bad. So the ban and restricted announcement came and went. No heat came from it. And then, like, middle of the week, like 2 days later, people are starting to play with these Eldraine cards in Standard and in other formats too, because the cards are great. We covered a little bit of that last week, what we think is cool in Standard formats, but turns out there are some really, really busted cards in Standard right now because Wizards just keeps making good cards. So I think there was some kind of announcement or some kind of, I think it's the Magic, the Arena, like Mythic qualifier or the Arena like Mythic Championship coming up soon. And I think deck registrations or deck lists had to be submitted today. I actually think the MC is this weekend for that. But regardless, deck registration and submission was today. And then hours later after that, apparently, Wizards tweeted out that the next banner restriction, which was scheduled for November, is now bumped up to October 21st.
Well, the weird fucking thing is they announced another announcement. That's it.
Well,
Why?
yeah, they said that...
Like, you could honestly just be like, this is going to be banned effective this date.
Well, I think because they need to make an official announcement for it. And, like, I genuinely, I get the announcement for the announcement. Like, I understand why they did.
Super strange to me, but
Because
teach their own.
They need
different strokes for different folks.
Because, I mean, that's the thing with banned and restricted announcements, is that they always have a set date to them, so people know when to expect what's going on. So changing the announcement from November 18th, the initial date, to October 21st, which is 2 weeks after the previous one, which has to be like the shortest span between BNRs.
Unless there's like emergency bans.
Yeah. But the exact tweet that Magic Esports tweeted was, we previously announced the next BNR date as November 18th. After further reflection on the parentheses, very busy competitive gaming schedule and discussion on the implication windows with our digital teams, we are shifting that next announcement to October 21st.
Definitely strange.
Yeah, so something must have happened, or maybe they actually put some time and effort into thinking about what's going on in Magic, and they bumped the next BNR up significantly.
Yeah.
Like almost an entire month.
Very strange, but...
And 2 weeks after a previous announcement where the announcement was that there are no bans and no restrictions.
Yeah, that's really strange to me. Why not just do it then? Do you think they just didn't give a shit?
Well, I think they were going off the numbers that they had at the time, or at least the weeks leading up to it. And the numbers that they had with weeks leading up to it is that, at least as far as standard is concerned, the world was not on fire. But now that Eldraine is here and we have the entire texture of that standard format, now apparently something happened.
Yeah, what broke it? Like, what made it just go, yep, get fucked?
Well, I have, and me and Matt are both, we will 100% concede the fact that we are the farthest thing from standard specialists.
Yeah, I could give a shit, honestly.
We don't even know how to play most of the decks in standard. Just because we're just like, oh, I don't, like, who cares? Like, I don't understand what's going on with this format. But from the chatter that I have heard on Twitter, the big issue is Field of the Dead. Or more specifically, like the Golo style decks.
How did Eldraine change that deck then?
From my knowledge, the Eldraine cards that are in that deck are not like crazy. At least in the 5-color Golo decks. Like they're playing that Wrath Giant. There, some of them were playing like Fae of Wishes. I don't think that like anything is incredibly like busted.
Crazy hard control.
I mean, it sounds like it's not even just like control. It's just you're overwhelming your opponent with zombies. Like on the big card, because I have been playing substandard recently in preparation for the Content Creator Community Cup. But my data is a little bit skewed because one, I haven't been playing in the ranked matches. And two, I'm playing a pauper deck, essentially. I'm playing a pauper deck with 5 uncommons in it.
Couple uncommon cards in that bitch.
Yeah, so I'm like the games I'm losing by an absolute fucking landslide. But the games that I'm winning, I do feel vindicated because I'm like, oh, I just beat your
actual standard
mono deck. Rare mythic rare deck with a bunch of garbage, like a literal draft deck.
Well, if you got that in a draft deck, you'd fucking murder everyone.
Well, it might be a draft deck on Arena because the bots don't know what they're doing. But that's another topic all in of itself.
You're not wrong.
But the big cards that people are complaining about are Golos Tireless Pilgrim, which is a 5-mana 3/5, but when he enters the battlefield, you search your library for a land card, you put it on the battlefield tapped, and then you shuffle your library. He also has another ability for 2 in Wooburg. You exile the top 3 cards of your library, and you may play them this turn without paying their mana cost, but for some reason, I don't think that that's particularly an issue.
So it's literally just a 5-mana tutor for a land.
Yeah, it's like Solemn Simulacrum, except for instead of a basic, it's just anything.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And then I did see that there's adventure decks that are quite good. The white base adventure, like white, green, and white black, I think.
Yeah, there's
good.
the one that I had been seeing at least on Arena had been like the white green base with cards like the Lovestruck Beast, that for one adventure you get a 1/1 human, and then he's a 2/3 5/5, but it can't attack unless you control a 1/1 creature.
Yeah, that card's
pretty
aggressive,
incredibly powerful. And when it's paired with the Edgewall Innkeeper, like it's a 1-mana 1/1, which great works with the Lovestruck Beast, and the Edgewall Innkeeper.
Death Touch?
No, the Edgewall Innkeeper is the one that says when you cast a creature spell that has adventure, you draw a card.
Oh, seems good.
Yeah, so those two cards work absolutely insane together.
Yeah, that seems really fucking good. You're just churning through your deck.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody was ever thinking that was not a powerful card, the Lovestruck Beast, at least as far as the standard context goes, because anytime you get a 3-mana 5/5, you're pretty much going to do everything in your power to enable that card.
Yeah, you're not wrong. That's
in the standard
super aggressive. It's super mid-range, I guess.
Yeah,
but it can be aggressive.
That rate is insane, though. And just the fact that it by itself enables its own body as long as that 1/1 does not get killed. You also just get to play other 1/1s in your deck that aren't bad cards. Like that's a solid strategy.
I may have asked this before, but is Llanowar Elves still?
No, Llanowar Elves was Dominaria.
Okay, so that's refreshing. That's not a thing.
I agree, because that would be way
2, 5/5.
Yeah, just casual turn 2 that guy. Like turn 1 Llanowar Elves, turn 2 5/5, and then next turn hit you for 5. Like that's on some modern level power shit.
And you could casually play another 5/5 after that.
That's faster and better than a Batterskull.
Yes, that beats Batterskull.
Yeah, it chews it up pretty good. The other thing that I was seeing in standard is the Fires of Invention decks. So they're essentially like Jeskai Planeswalker decks, but they're playing that enchantment, Fires of Invention, which is a 4-mana enchantment, 3 in a red. And it says that you can cast spells only during your turn, and you can't cast more than 2 spells each turn. But it also says you can cast spells with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of lands you control without paying their mana.
Yeah, I saw that thing. That thing looks really fucking sweet.
Yes.
LSV went pretty deep with the Time Walk that is 3 mana, but you don't untap on your next turn.
Yes, with like the Reclamation.
Yeah.
Or not not even with Reclamation.
Whatever that enchantment is.
Yeah. No, there's a bunch of different decks that are enabled by that. But if you can just play Planeswalkers, just like for essentially free, just running out a million Planeswalkers and just being able to just do whatever you want to do. And like you get to play just like a Wrath for free.
Yeah, turn 5, say 2 5-mana Planeswalker for essentially nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, have fun with that.
Sure. Yeah, like how do you beat that? You just don't. But I mean, that brings me to my next question. And I think it's something that we could probably spend, honestly, the majority of this podcast talking about. How do you feel about the way that the bans and restrictions lists in the past, like, let's say 4 years, let's say since the energy set, Aether Revolt.
Kaladesh was the energy.
Yeah, Kaladesh Aether Revolt with the energy. How do you feel about this new mentality for ban and restriction lists? Because I know when I started playing Magic, like nothing ever got banned. Like the first big thing that got banned after I started playing was, I think, like Birthing Pod. And that was like, oh my God, a card got banned. And then after that, it was just like, like a year or so after that, Splinter Twin got banned. And we were like, wow, like things must be really like fucked up if these cards are getting banned, because these are just so powerful and they're just changing, like warping them. Now it seems like, and we kind of harken upon this earlier, that it just seems every time something's released, there's a subsequent ban taking some card from that thing that was just released out of a form.
Well, I think that they have the right idea of trying to keep broken things out of formats, because some of that shit, it doesn't. They are getting a little buck wild, but I think overall they made a mistake with Birthing Pod, but other than that, everything has been pretty.
I mean, I think Birthing
fair.
Pod was 100% a correct ban at that time.
Yeah, you shut your fucking mouth at that time.
I don't think you can defend that card, at least in that era.
No, I agree. I'm just being a dick.
Yeah, maybe now, just with the texture of Modern, I don't know if Birthing Pod would be like as dominant as it was, but I still don't think it's allowed to come back.
Yeah.
But I mean, it goes back to my initial question: is like, how do you feel about this? Is this the Magic that we live in now?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're going to try to keep stuff. They're very clear. They want Standard to be a fun format. They want Modern to be interactive, nothing winning consistently before turn 4. Legacy, they don't want anything that is insanely dominant or makes gameplay miserable if you're not an expert. The example there is Sensei's Divining Top. If you know how to play top, okay, cool. But there are many people who are fucking dum-dums and don't know how to play with top.
Well, top has a really interesting learning curve where you have to be playing with it for an amount of time in order for it to be even a playable card in your hands. But once you get it, it is arguably the best card in your deck.
Oh yeah.
And not very many cards have that same learning. Like, very, very few cards have that learning.
Well, the issue with it is to get better at playing it, you have to play it.
Yeah, which I'm fine with cards like that if that when you get good at playing it, it is just a good card, not a broken card. The perfect example of that, Brainstorm.
Yeah. Vintage Brainstorm is ridiculously broken.
I mean, I think
that's like a weird.
That's a different. You can't use vintage as a metric for literally anything.
Yeah, look at Mentor.
Yeah, I mean, Mentor is one of the more played cards now because of Astrolabe and stuff. So even not in a Standard context, because I don't buy the argument that they're printing cards to keep things interesting, and like how you said, they're printing cards to try to make Modern a fair format. Because they're printing cards in those sets like Astrolabe, and they're printing cards in those sets like Ren and 6, where immediately like those cards came out and multiple formats adopted them. And sure, they made formats slower, but I don't know if they made like it more either one diverse of a format or more fair of a format. Because there's a huge difference between playing against a Ren and 6 deck and then playing against like a fair deck.
Yeah.
Or playing against an Arkham's Astrolabe deck and playing against a fair deck. Because those cards are incredibly powerful to the point where, sure, those games are going to go long, but you never feel like you're in those games. You're obligated to keep playing because that's how Magic is, but those cards are powerful to the point where it really doesn't matter what you do. You're eventually going to lose that game because of the power level of those cards. And Astrolabe is such a innocuous card, but it does so much for the decks that it's in. Like you never feel like you're in those games.
Yeah, it fixes mana perfectly. It cantrips. It's everything you need.
It's an artifact for Urza.
But yeah, it does everything. Ren and 6 obviously has taken Modern by storm and Legacy by storm.
But on its face, Ren and 6 is just a better Magic card. Like in a vacuum, it's a more powerful card than Astrolabe. But my point is, all of these cards that they're printing, and it even boils down to the cards that they're printing now with Hogak was in the same format, and that was obviously too busted. But I've seen like even snippets with Oko, where it's my favorite thing in the entire world now is seeing the game log from Magic Online, and it being like
Swords to Plowshare.
Person casts Lightning Bolt targeting Chalice of the Void, or person casts Swords to Plowshares targeting Ensnaring Bridge, or something like that. Like Oko just makes my entire life just seeing stuff like that.
Yeah, that card is way better than I initially gave it credit for. I thought it was good, but I didn't even think of it in the. It's not as good as Teferi, but it's fucking close. 3 minutes Teferi.
Sure.
Yeah, because 3 minutes Teferi can bounce stuff, draws you a card, gets you out of some spots where normally you're not getting out of.
It's the sticky situation that it puts your opponent in, where now that the person I'm playing has Teferi, I have to completely alter my game plan. I can't use my counter spells. I can't use removal. Like I have to play around them, but I have to play on my turn. It completely ruins the concept of mana efficiency. It wrecks instant speed.
Yeah. Well, you and I talked about this. It's literally just a better defense grid. Yeah, one more mana, doesn't die to artifact removal, it draws you a card when it bounces something.
Yeah,
And the static ability,
busted.
those static ability on Planeswalkers may have been a mistake.
A mistake. You took the words right out of my mouth. I think those were probably a mistake. I mean, because look at how those Planeswalkers in that set in War of the Spark warped multiple forms.
Oh my god. Well, Karn,
Narset,
in Vintage
Teferi, like all of them are busted. I mean, and even to a lesser extent, Ashok.
Yes,
is seeing a bunch of sideboard play. A lot of sideboard play.
Well, that does two different Ds. It keeps them from searching as a static ability.
Yeah, so shuts off fetch land.
And then it can hose some graveyard strategies if timed properly.
Yeah, sure. And that's just there. My next question is: Are Wizards making cards? Are they too good? Like, is Magic to the point where we've had the power creep of you, like before? If you had a 4-mana 4/4 creature, there had to have been a downside. But then it evolved to, okay, a vanilla 4/4 for 4 mana is totally kosher. And now we're at a point where like a 4-mana 4/4 with
is a common
insane abilities is just like, it's a good card. Like, people are just looking at it just like, yeah, I mean, we'll play it, but it's not the best card in the set. Like, before, that card would have been like, what? I don't have to like sacrifice a permanent in order to play this card? Like, what's going on? But now you have the things like Questing Beast. It's just a 4-mana 4/4 with a page and a half of upside.
Yeah.
And that's not even the card that people are talking about from Eldraine.
Yeah. I see it as, look at the original insane creatures from Arabian Nights. You got like Urnum Jim, Juzum Jin, what was the Surrender Befreet? They all had a drawback, but it wasn't a ridiculous drawback. And they were undercosted and very powerful.
Yeah.
Now you have shit that's...
Those cards don't even hold
like you said,
the cards now.
Oh, yeah. They reprinted Juzum Jin in red and at Uncommon.
It's uncommon. Yeah.
The exact same card.
Yeah. Just a red version of it.
Yep. And
I think it sucks that I think this ban and restriction trend that we've been seeing lately that's the Magic that we're living in. And we're kind of in a world, and I don't know if it's just like the culture of Magic now, or if it's the culture of life right now, where everybody's kind of a sensationalist about everything. So if a card just ruins Standard, or if a card when Standard first comes out and it completely just busts Standard and everybody's just like playing that card, because information is so readily available, when a deck is just obviously better than everything else, that cream rises to the top a lot faster than it used to, because everybody's online, everybody sees everybody's deck lists. When a deck performs, everybody jumps on it
and then tries to tweak it to make it better. Or
exactly. So like the information sharing thing is just a lot quicker now, so people get to a solved format as Standard goes a lot faster, and everybody jumps to the conclusion that Standard's completely ruined at this point. And I don't know if that is the cause for the BNRs, or if the power level increase of the cards is the cause for the increased BNRs, or maybe it's some combination of the two, or something that I'm not even thinking of. But I don't know if I like the Magic that we're in if every time something comes out, something needs to get banned from.
Well, Standard's a weird one because, like you said, it's so easily solvable because it's so small. So you can't really adjust to the metagame as well as other formats.
But we've had more cards banned in Standard in the past 2 years than we did in the first 24 years of Magic.
Yeah. What was the first things banned were Jace and
Stoneforge. Yeah, and then it went. Yeah, Standard was that. Those were banned, and then we went, and then we just had a runner.
What was it? Attune with Aether was banned in Standard.
Yeah.
Raging Ferocidon, the fucking red dinosaur.
Rampaging Ferocidon.
Yeah, that got banned. Ramuna, Ruins got banned.
Was it Emrakul?
Emrakul. Well, that makes.
I mean, that card really wasn't like out that spectacular. It was just the energy card that was made it nuts.
Aetherworks Marvel, yeah, but
there you go. Thank you.
It put a hurt on that deck, which is exactly what it needed, because they didn't want to kill Marvel. They wanted to shoot it in the kneecap.
Yeah, and I think we had that fallback during that time, and I don't think that's why I came to the conclusion that I'm at now, that energy was just busted. Like, energy was just a mechanic that was just so obviously a mistake, and it just was far more powerful than anybody ever expected. So the cards that got banned around that mechanic or around the things that mechanic could do made sense to neuter that. But now that that's not a thing that exists anymore, that we're still seeing formats where cards need to be banned is kind of worrisome.
Yeah, they are going in a direction that's like, hey, we need to print these really powerful cards so the set sells. But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, when you do that, you kind of fuck up standard.
Yeah, and where's the ceiling on that? Like, where is it? Because I don't see it at this point, and I don't think Wizards sees it either, because they keep printing busted Magic cards.
Yeah, they're trying to not go above a power level, but at a certain point, you have to do new stuff, and you can't always find if something's going to be broken or not. Like, I don't think they thought Energy was going to be ridiculously broken, like it was.
Well, does that fall back on the play design team? Like, are the players on the play design team just not good enough? I know of some of the players on that team, and I know they're incredible players, but there is a limit on the amount of things that a room of, I don't know how many people but I can't imagine it's over 10, 20 people.
I'm going to say no, because this simple fact. Do you remember the blue-red deck that exerted and you got an additional attack step, and then it played clones and all that kind of stuff, and it just...
Yeah, it played that, it was a 1-4 or 4-1?
Yeah, all of those cards were legal for a very long time together.
Yeah.
And it wasn't solved until about the end of it.
Yeah.
Like right before it was going to get rotate out. That's when someone figured it out. And then everyone's like, oh, shit, this is a thing we can do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and by no means am I blaming the play design team because, again, it can't be more than 10 to 20 people. And when those cards are released to the masses, you go from 10 to 20 people playing that standard format to
hundreds or thousands.
Literally thousands of people, probably close to a million.
Yeah, that's true, because standard is the most played format, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So just the economies of scale say that those thousands, possibly millions of people are going to be able to find more than the 20 people that initially tested the cards.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But that's still, I'm still going back to the argument that are we at a point where Magic cards are just too good? New Magic cards in Standard are just too good, and eventually we're going to hit a point where the floor falls out, and we're going to have another moment like when Urza's Saga came out, and everything was busted, and we just went through a string of combo, and everybody was miserable, and then we lost a bunch of the player base. I don't think we're ever going to see a player base fall out, especially with the things that are going on in Magic currently, where they're kind of taking away the significance of competitive Magic and really leaning hard into the more casual forms of Magic.
Oh, casual Magic is fucking booming.
Yeah, and that's great because that's the most fun way for people to play Magic. Like just booster draft with your friends or Commander night, like drinking beers with your buddies, or just it's something like that.
Well, that's actually probably more expensive. Commander is more expensive than probably every standard deck. A good amount of modern decks, depending on what Commander deck you're playing. Those new Brawl Commanders, they're like $40 each. Like you
can't find them anywhere.
Yeah, people cannot find the actual decks. I was at Target today just to pick up some stuff for a wedding this week.
And you swung past.
I swung past, not any there. There's some of the other ones, like the older, like the most recent Commanders.
But none of the Brawl decks are there.
None of the Brawl decks.
Yeah, because the people are going out and either buying them because they want to play them, so they went out and got them immediately, or people are buying them to part them because there's money to be made.
Yep.
Yeah, so I love seeing casual formats like bloom. But even Pauper right now, I would say Pauper is like in this delicate balance between a casual format and a competitive format. Because they're trying to move it to a more competitive light where I'm assuming at some point we're going to have a Pauper GP.
At any point where you have a sideboard, you're playing a competitive format.
Yeah, sure. I agree with that. So Pauper is kind of becoming a more competitive format. But when something becomes competitive, there is that level of it's going to get busted somehow. So they have to keep a closer watch on what that is. And I don't want it to get to the point because I do enjoy competitive formats. Like a Legacy is my favorite format, but I also really love casual Magic. Like I love sitting around with you and our other buddies, and we're at a competitive level of play when we're doing those events. Like when we're just drafting like a Chaos draft like we did a couple months ago, or the annual that we do where we're just doing a bunch of booster drafts in a weekend. Like that is a more casual environment, but we are playing competitively.
Play.
Yeah.
Yes. It's the best of both worlds.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to see competitive Magic fall to the wayside because they're doing more focus on casual Magic. I want there to be a place where both of those can coexist. Well, this is a fucking tangent.
Yeah, you went off there.
I mean, that's just what's really been bugging me lately. It's just I don't know where Magic's at.
I think you are on the right path where there's always going to be competitive people. There's always going to be casual people. I'm waiting for a time when it's a combination of both, which is going to be very hard to.
Yeah, and we could just be in that weird middle ground where Magic is in flux because of the year that we've had of them shifting to that focus of casual. So it could just be like another year or so before we reach that equilibrium where both aspects of Magic are equally catered. Competitive Magic might just be suffering for that time.
I don't think competitive Magic is suffering.
I mean, as far as player base, no, but I think as far as formats, yes. I think most competitive formats right now are in a bad place.
Well, Legacy Rug Delver's just tearing shit up.
Yeah, Astrolabe and Ren and 6 are just so good.
Modern, I don't think, is in a terrible place. There's very clearly a best deck, and I think that best deck is Urza.
Yeah.
But you can beat it. Like, that's one of the reasons I like formats like Modern. If you want to beat a deck, you can fucking smash it into the dirt.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, you can really focus on beating the shit out of Urza. You just have to pack your, like, Stony Silence or your Oofs, and then also have some graveyard plan. And if you do, Urza will never beat you. Like, never. You have to have a pretty abysmal draw, and they have to have, like, the actual god draw for them to beat you into the ground.
Yeah, but like I said before, Standard is such a small format where you really can't do that.
Yeah, the card pool is just inherently smaller.
Like, I remember I forget what it was called, Cawblade. Cawblade was trying to figure out a way to build their deck to beat Cawblade.
Yeah, and that's the last thing you want in a format.
That was the only thing that deck was weak to, was the mirror. Because whoever started going off got to go off.
I mean, the last time we had something reminiscent to that was Eldrazi Winter, where the Eldrazi decks were metaing to other Eldrazi decks. So you had the colorless Eldrazi, which crushed the field, but then you also had like the blue-white Eldrazi and the blue-red Eldrazi, which beat the Eldrazi decks.
Yeah, and then red-green to go bigger than the blue-white.
Yeah, so you had this weird little dance where
I actually think
you
that
have to meta against your own archetype.
You're missing. There's one later than that. It was the 4-color Sahib, because that was incredibly good. No, Standard.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah, with Felidar Guardian.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the Eldrazi is the perfect example for Modern.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm just not having a lot of fun, and thank God for this Content Creators Community Cup, because I am not really having fun playing the Magic that I typically like playing. So
go into that a little bit, because that is fun. It's really cool.
Yeah, so
we've talked about it a couple times, but
so yeah, for anybody who hasn't listened to it in the past 2 weeks, or listened to us in the past 2 weeks, we were selected to be part of the Content Creator Community Cup, which is a group of 16 content creators, big and small, throughout the Magic community, and we're all placed into 4 teams of 4, and then each month we have a deck building restriction that we have to build a deck with some sort of constraints, and then we play up against another team to see which team wins for the week, and then the teams are shuffled around for the next month, and so on and so forth until some winners are crowned. This week we are, or this month, this round, the deck building constraint is Peasant. So it's a pauper deck, but we can have 5 uncommons. And additionally, as another restraint, we were issued 2 cards. So we have to have at least 1 copy of one of those 2 cards in our 60. And then we play on Magic Arena. We play against each member of the opposing team, and we play 3 best of 1 games with our deck.
I like the best of 1 for that format.
Hell yeah. I like the best of 1 for just Arena in general. Because Arena it's quick, it's sleek, and when you slow it down with something like sideboarding, like as integral as that is to Magic, when you slow Arena down with something like sideboarding, it really does take away from the games.
Yeah, you definitely lose something.
Yeah, the best part about Arena is you get to jump on, jam a game, win or lose, and then move on. And it's quick, and it's engaging, and It hits in all the right spots, and when you have to sideboard in between that, it's just like, fuck. Like sideboarding comes around, like you win or lose game one, and you're just like, fuck. I just want to be done. I just want to play something else. I just stop. I hate Arena. So I exclusively play best of one. They should just
I don't play Arena, so
I mean, Arena's fun, dude. It's honestly a blast. And I think Arena is great for people who are getting into Magic because, like I said, it's incredibly visually appealing. And it's really straightforward, really intuitive, easy to learn, easy to catch on to the mechanics of Magic. Definitely incredibly more user-friendly than Magic Online. And with the Magic Online thing, it reminds you about every step that occurs and every trigger and everything. Like it has little animations that pop up that remind you about things. So you, as you're learning, it forces you not to forget. Paper Magic has always been that thing when I'm teaching people that they're just like, they do something and they're like, oh shit, I forgot that like that entering the battlefield made this happen. And then we have to go back and like fix that and then move forward with it. So there is always that retracting of time and then bringing it back up to speed, and then that flux of we're going back, moving forward, going back, moving forward. Arena eliminates that completely, where it's just like when something happens, it happens. You're notified. It comes up as a trigger or an ability or whatever. It happens. You move on with the game, and it does it in a way that is smooth and sleek and timely, which is
makes the game flow better.
Yeah, it has a much better flow. Yeah, so fuck yeah, Arena's tight. Shout out to Arena.
You did it, Arena.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been playing Standard lately, and I've been loving it, because I've been playing a fucking garbage pile.
It's a pretty good garbage pile.
Yeah, you're right, it is. So, I went over our deck building constraints for week one, and what I had come up with almost right out of the gate for our teams, or for my deck for our team's thing was... One of our cards was Lock Dragon. So it is a 4 mana for Is It Hybrid. For a 3/2 flyer. And whenever Lock Dragon enters the battlefield or attacks, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. And I saw that card and I'm like, whatever. The ability's fine. Like a 4 mana 3/2 flyer isn't awful. But it is blue. And there's another card that is illegal in Standard that is also blue. And it is Persistent Petitioners.
The best fucking card in Standard, for
Amen.
sure.
Yes, fucking Persistent Petitioners. A nice little casual 1/3 for 1 in a blue. And, it just has a kind of boring ability that says for 1 mana you can tap it, and target player puts the top card of their library into their graveyard. But it also has another little piece of text on it that says you can tap 4 untapped advisors you control. So mind you, the creature type on Persistent Petitioners is Human Advisor. So you can tap 4 untapped advisors you control, and target player puts the top 4 or the top 12 cards of their library into their graveyard. Well, yeah, you may ask me, Tyler, how many advisors are in Standard right now?
Persistent Practitioners.
There's only one. There's Persistent Practitioner. So you would essentially just have to have your playset on the battlefield in order for this to be an ability that works.
Oh, shucks. Only if there was a way around that.
Yeah, if only. Oh, wait. There is more text.
But
and
wait,
it says,
there's more.
A deck can have any number of cards named Persistent Petitioner in your deck. Let's go. We are playing Mono Petitioner Mill.
Fucking getting after it.
Yeah, so our deck is 23 islands, 21 Persistent Petitioners, and then other cards that interact with Mill or draw us cards. That is legitimately it.
And the one shitty Lock Dragon.
Oh, yeah, and Lock Dragon falls into the category of cards that draw us cards, right?
That's true, I guess.
Like, I'll just discard one of these islands and then just draw a card that hopefully is another Persistent Petitioner.
I think the best cards in the deck are going to be Merfolk Secret Keeper.
Yeah, that card's nuts.
And Into the Story.
Oh, Into the Story is by far the best card in the deck. It initially was not in the deck, but I've been testing it a little bit, and I would never leave home without this card. If I could play additional copies of Uncommons, Into the Story would be a 4 of. Full stop. Best card in the deck.
For sure, yeah. Well, do you think it's better to play 4 of those and 0 Overwhelmed Practitioner or Apprentice?
No, because Overwhelmed Apprentice is really good with Sage Dennis.
True.
So the cards we're talking about, Merfolk Secret Keeper is a 1 mana 0/4 and it also has the adventure ability. So for 1 mana at sorcery speed, you can venture deeper, which says target player puts the top 4 cards of their library into their graveyard. So it's just a 1 mana mill spell that also turns into a AO for later in the game.
Most likely turn 3.
Yeah.
Or turn 4.
And then into the story is 5 blue for a draw 4. But if an opponent has 7 or more cards in their graveyard, it costs 3 less. So it's a 4 mana 100% of the time. It is a 4 mana draw 4 in our deck. And then we've got like Didn't Say Please, which is a mill counterspell. We have Overwhelmed Apprentice, which is a 1 mana 1/2 that mills 2 and scries 2. Sagro Denizen, which is a 3 mana 2/3 that when a blue creature enters the battlefield, target player mills 2. And then obviously our 1-up Block Dragon. So the deck is actually, I have been testing it and I've been playing against, because unfortunately, there's not a peasant room on Magic Arena where you can go test peasant decks where you're allowed to have 5 uncommons.
Also, the estimated cost of this deck is $17.30.
Yeah, and that's almost 100% in persistent petitioners. If you want to buy this on paper, the petitioners are by a significant margin the most expensive card.
Yes.
But I do plan on making a YouTube video about this deck, because we are going to have to record the videos that we play, or the games that we play, so that the team for creators for the Content Creator Community Cup can do commentary over top. But in addition to that, I will be making a video. I apologize because things have been going on in the world of Fetch and Shock behind the scenes that have made it increasingly difficult for me to focus on putting out any kind of video content or any kind of streams. But I will, because I have to record these videos and I refuse to let this footage go to waste. I will be making videos out of this, and I already have like a script written for the intro and everything. So I'm actually twisting my own arm and forcing myself.
Atta girl.
Yeah, there will be the dog video at some point in time. I promise I will get to that, because that is a dream. But before then, the Content Creator Community Cup is going to be our next content, at least a video content. We're going to get after it, bud.
Pitter patter.
Let's get at her. I mean, so one more thing that we can talk about after our lengthy tangent on what the fuck is going on with banned restricted lists. We do have new cards. This is still essentially spoiler season, right?
I guess so.
Yeah, if we're just going to keep that train going.
Might as fucking well be.
Yep, let's keep it rolling, baby. Spoiler season never ends. Spoiler season is dead. Long live spoiler season. We got 3 new cards, bud. 3 brand new, not legal in any format cards.
Cube. Commander.
Oh, cubing. I mean, you could play these. They're not technically legal, but you could play
Commander,
these.
bud.
I mean, if you took these to a GP, you'd have to ask. Be like, okay, can I play these? Or what can
Or
can
tell
I
everyone to eat a bag of dicks.
You could do that.
Kids.
As you're playing your My Little Pony cards, you can tell everybody to suck a dick and fucking deal with it, bud. So Wizards of the Coast released the 3 cards that they are going to be selling as a bundle in support for the, I believe it is the Extra Life charity events that a lot of gaming communities have going on. From my understanding, Extra Life is a charity dedicated to helping sick kids with cancer, kids with other diseases. Have not done very much research. I have supported the Extra Life campaign in a couple different capacities before. There's a company, I don't know if you watch any of their content, Rooster Teeth.
Nope, I didn't even know that the organization existed until today.
Oh, well, Rooster Teeth, when you were a kid, did you ever watch like the Red versus Blue Halo videos?
Nope, I was outside.
God. Come on, you fucking nerd. No, they were fucking awesome. They're so funny. But they do a lot of like video game content. They do some other content that I'm into, or that I was into in high school or in like my early college years. And every year they do like a live stream for Extra Life, and they do like a 24-hour thing. And I always like donate a couple bucks to that because it's an insane cost. But yeah, Wizards is finally getting in on it. So they released 3 My Little Pony cards. I'm assuming because My Little Pony is a Hasbro company and Wizards of the Coast Hasbro, so they didn't have to worry about any kind of legal issues with these guys. But we got some cool cards. I mean, cool. Yeah, sure, I'm gonna call them cool. Yeah, fuck yeah, they're cool.
They're neat. They're unique.
There you go. You words better than I did. They are unique. So if you're into My Little Pony, you're gonna fucking dig these. We have Nightmare Moon, we have Princess Twilight Sparkle, and we have Rarity.
That's my stage name, just so you know.
Rarity?
No, Princess Twilight Sparkle.
Oh, mine's actually Nightmare Moon.
Nightmare Moon.
Yeah, it's a goatsy act.
I'm done talking to you.
Kids, go Google that. Go Google goatsy.
I fucking hate you.
We ruined it. We ruined the fucking My Little Pony portion.
No, we did not.
Turned it awful. You were here. You're an accomplice.
It wouldn't be us if we didn't make it
you're-
awful. It's still good cause.
Yeah, Goatsy, nothing to do with Extra Life, nothing to do with My Little Pony, but everything to do with the Fetch and Shock podcast.
Son of a bitch.
Well, I mean, these cards are cool. They could be good commanders. If you wanna have friends, if you want to give +1/+1s to other ponies and unicorns, if you want to do other things, I don't know.
Do whatever tickles your fancy.
Yeah, these are great. I mean, I'm not gonna build a commander deck around any of these, but that is just because one of them cares about horses, and I don't particularly care about horses. One of them has an ability that says reveal a My Little Pony toy, which conveniently enough, I unfortunately do not own any.
I'd hope not.
And I do not have the expendable income to go purchase any. And the other one says for 6 mana you can transform Nightmare Moon, and then any pony may activate this ability to help you pay costs. I don't know any ponies, so I would just have to pay that cost myself. It seems pretty expensive to flip a creature, so
I only know stallions.
yeah, just the Italian stallion. What? Okay, scratch that. I'm buying these, and I'm getting every single one altered to have Andrea Mangucci's face on it.
And just signed by the Gooch.
The Gooch himself, the man, the myth, the legend, the Italian stallion, Andrea Mangucci. Okay, you've turned me around. I am now a brony. I am fully on board with these as long as they're Andrea Mangucci cards.
Did you just use the term brony?
I mean, yeah, that's what the people who are into My Little Ponies are called, right?
I have no idea.
Come on, dude.
Brush up, bud.
Yeah, you're blowing it. But if you're interested in these, go to Scryfall. They have them on one of their main tabs, actually. And honestly, it killed me because it's Ponies. The Galloping is the tab that is what it's called on Scryfall.
I don't want to live here anymore.
That fucking killed me, man. It got me good. I saw that. I was like, what? And I realized what it was. I'm like, that is brilliant.
Scryfall, it's very clever.
Again, it's undefeated.
Incredibly clever.
Cannot beat Scryfall.
Not at all.
Well, speaking of how awesome the Scryfall website is, conveniently enough, the next thing that we're going to be touching upon uses almost exclusively the Scryfall website.
Exclusively, yes. That's a good way to put it.
And that is our game for the week. So every week, if you're not familiar, we play a little game called Accumulated Knowledge, and it is where one of us asks the other a card name that is randomly generated by the beautiful Scryfall website. The other individual has to give the mana cost of the card. If they get it, they get a point, and if they don't, they lose, and they are filled with shame and misery and defeat. We ask 5 cards, and I am the one who has to guess the cards, right? No, I'm asking you.
Yeah, you're asking me today.
So Matt, because he's an idiot savant, has to get 4 out of the 5 correct. He has 3 hints. If he wins, he gets the shout out, and if he doesn't, I get the shout out and all of the glory that goes along with it.
All of the glory.
So Matt, are you ready for your first random card?
I might be. Let's
right.
try it.
Well, the first one has absolutely insane art. Woo! It is
3 and a black.
No, it is
shit.
If you ever do that, I'm ending the podcast. We're done. We're fucking
just
done.
Game over. I win everything.
No, it is Dark Pact.
Dark Pact.
Yeah, this art is bonkers.
Dark Pact.
It's real good.
I'm thinking, I know it's not Demonic Pact. I know that. It's not. I wonder, is it like, no, it's not the black. I don't think it's one of those.
This one is honestly a pretty difficult one. Like, I genuinely don't even, like, this is difficult to the point where I don't even think it's worth a hint.
Yeah, I don't recall this fucking at all.
This is quite possibly the hardest one we've had on the show to date.
Dark Pact.
Dark Pact. What do you got for me? You want to blow a hint on this bad boy?
I don't think so. I'm gonna go. It's black. I'm guessing.
Sure.
I'm gonna go 1 black.
That is incorrect.
What is it?
You were stupid close though. It is black. It is from Alpha, and it is one of the anti cards.
Oh, if you would have told me that, I probably would have got it.
Yes, it is. So it is one of the anti cards. For those of you out here who don't know what anti is, you're better off for it. But ante was an old mechanic that made you wager your cards.
Yeah, after
like
you
during a
shuffled
game
up
of
and
Magic.
You shuffled up, presented, took the top card of your deck, and that was like a bet. Whoever won got to keep that card.
Yes. So
those cards.
Yeah. So that is why ante is not in the game anymore, because that's fucked up. But Dark Pack says remove Dark Pack from your deck before playing if you are not playing for ante. And it says you own target card in the ante. Exchange that card with the top card of your library.
So just switched it out.
You just swap that card. So
Damn.
Yeah, interesting.
That is a hard one.
Yeah, I didn't. So not a pretty auspicious start.
I went with Grave Pact. How like in all the packs, like the black ones,
with the
super,
black. Okay, that's
super
actually
black.
Really well. This one makes up for it. Are you ready for your next one? Because
Yes,
it is
sir.
the slowest pitch of the slow. It is Shatterstorm.
Huh. I'm gonna say 4 Wooburg. No, this is 2 red.
Yeah, it is definitely 2 red. This a tale as old as time, a song as old as rhyme.
This is a very good hate card.
Yes,
for
it is
artifact style.
Yeah,
decks.
it's 2 red sorcery. Destroy all artifacts. They can't be regenerated if that mattered.
It actually does matter.
Yeah, on occasion. You got like Welding Jar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
fuck you, Weldon Jar.
You brought it back. You got possibly one of the hardest cards that we've ever had.
Possibly one of the easiest.
Possibly one of the easiest we've ever had.
And I think Kiki Jiki was the easiest one we've ever had.
Yeah, especially because I played that card so frequently, and I got that card.
That was in my legacy deck. That was the week before.
That was literally in. Yeah, we talked about that card off air before we started the podcast. Like that exact day.
Yeah. All right, give me round 3 here, boy.
All right, round 3 is a nice little middle ground. We'll see if you can get this one. It is Thunder Dragon.
Thunder.
You ever played that drinking game before?
Oh, this is from one of the vaults and the dual decks because I bought.
It's from the vault Thunder.
I bought the dual decks because it had Knight of the Reliquary.
Ooh, that should be a hint. Do you want a hint on what dual deck that was?
No,
a free
Dragons
one.
versus Knights.
One. It is Dragons versus Knights.
It's either 6 or 7.
I'll tell you what, it's a magic card. I'll even give you the creature type. It's dragon.
I bet you it has flying too.
It's a knight, actually.
That would be such fucking.
It's a dragon knight.
I don't remember what it does, but I'm pretty sure it's 7. Give me 5 red.
It is 5 red.
Yeah, I thought
you are too good at this fucking game, man.
I wouldn't have got that if I never bought the. I'm pretty sure I still actually have this card in my binder.
I would not be surprised if you don't, because why would you ever get rid of this? Because who would buy it?
Yeah, pretty much. It's
but you're right. It is 5 red.
Bulk rare, yeah.
Yeah, it's 5 red for a 5/5 flyer, and then whenever Thunder Dragon enters the battlefield, it deals 3 damage to each creature without flying.
It's actually pretty good.
I mean, like for a commander card, and I'm sure in that dual deck it was probably like the top end bomb.
That, and I love all the dragons. I always wanted to make a commander dragon deck. Yeah, the art on them is just so crazy.
Yeah, this art is. I mean, it's not outstanding for a dragon, but it's still a dragon art, so I dig it. Oh, unfortunately, I do think you're gonna get this one, even though it's an obscure one. Like I wouldn't get this, but I do think you're gonna get it. Your next one is Rolling Stones.
Rolling Stone. Oh, this is oh, fuck it. Lets walls attack.
I mean, it is a card, and it has text on it. If that is the text, I cannot tell you. Unless...
It's either a wall.
Like a hint.
It says... I'm going to probably use it in here. I'm pretty sure it's either a wall that says other walls can attack, or it's an artifact.
It is a magic card.
I'm pretty sure it's 2 mana, either way. What is the card type?
The card type is enchantment. So not a creature and also not an artifact.
I still think it's 2 mana.
But it is an enchantment. I can give you that.
I'm pretty sure it's white or red. When you said Rolling Stones for a second, I thought it was Rolling Thunder, and I was like, nope.
Thunder! Blue doo 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 doo.
Say Thunder one more time. Oh, fuck. I'm pretty sure it's 2. I'm going one white.
One white. Is that your?
No.
Oh.
Like colorless white.
Yeah, one and a white.
Oh, okay.
Is that But is that what you want? Is that are you locking that in?
I don't know. It's white or red. It's either one red or one white. I'm going one white because that's not really a thing that there's not many walls in red.
No, I don't think red would ever do that because it is exactly one white.
Okay.
You were right. Walls may attack as though they were not walls.
Yeah, I knew it was something shitty like that. This is...
Errated to wall creatures can attack as though they didn't have a defender.
This is actually probably pretty good now with that commander, wall commander or whatever.
Oh, you
Defender commander.
Very interesting. I'm sure it makes it into that deck, right? Just as a redundant effect for that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, from Stronghold, 7th edition and 8th edition. That's why I thought
I didn't know it was from Stronghold, actually.
Stronghold has really good art. It's like a blob that's like grabbing goblins. Pretty sweet stuff.
That actually does sound pretty cool. Well, it's a wall fucking up some shit.
Next one is for all the marbles.
And I have 2 fucking hints. Just remember that.
You do have 2 hints. So
you should stop giving me 2 hints.
I am not incredibly... You know what? You have 1 hint. You have 1 hint. You only have 2 hints.
You can't fucking change
it
game.
My game, my rules. This is the banned and restricted announcement live.
Yeah.
I'm banning one of your hints.
Fair enough. Fuck. Played myself there.
Yeah, you really did. You should have just mentioned that 5 minutes later.
Son of a bitch.
But your last card is Fog Elemental.
Oh, that's 3 blue. No, that's Air Element.
Air Elemental is not a card. It is
I know this. Oh my god, Kev used to play this card.
That does not surprise me in the slightest that Kevin would play this card that I'm looking at right now.
It's the book. Whatever the book is.
Sure.
Give me the text.
Fog Elemental has flying. And also, when Fog Elemental attacks or blocks, you sacrifice it at the end of combat.
Oh, this is 2 and a blue. It's 4/4 flyer.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I know it is, because Kev used to fucking play Bloodlust on this thing.
That
smacked me for 8 in the air.
God damn it, Kevin. Yeah, that is 100% right. It's 2 and a blue. Wow, you came back from that awful start of Dark Pact.
I did get a softball, though. I got Shatterstorm. That's a waffle of a card.
That is fair. That was a slow pitch. But the rest of them, I would say, are probably relatively middle of the ground. I mean, for you, everything is a fucking easy card. Because, you bought the dual deck for one of them. Kevin used to fucking play another one of them. Fucking, come on now.
I almost fucked it up, though, with Air Elemental. I was like, oh, that's 3 blue.
I was honestly on the edge of my fucking seat. When you said the mana cost for Air Elemental, I'm like, oh my god, he did the thing. He fucked it up again. He did the Agony Warp thing that you did last time?
Yeah. I was confident going into it.
So excited.
I was like, no. I was
because you were full in on that too, and I'm like, yes, it's happening.
As soon as you said Fog Elemental, as soon as you said it, I was like, oh, 5, 3 blue. Wait.
Yeah, you almost snapped that off. You learned from the Agony Warp thing. See, you're learning, you're evolving, and I'm proud of that.
Yes.
I am incredibly proud of the progress that you've made during the course of this podcast. Well, dude, I guess this means that you are the sole proprietor of our shout out for that.
It's me. I'm the fucking best.
You're the shout out? No, that's not true. You suck. You can't do that.
My game, my rules, bitch.
No, it's not. It is my game. Oh, actually, conveniently enough, yeah, our shout out is one of our teammates for the Content Creator Community Cup. One of our other teammates.
Excuse me. It is Crocodile TG. That's crocodile as an Australian accent.
Crocodile.
Yeah. So
Swamp.
They're actually from the 412.
Hey, yeah, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But oh my god, I just realized that one of my teammates is a local yokel.
Yeah, so you can follow them on Twitter at Crocodile MTG. That's CROCODILE MTG. So yeah, you'll see some more of them with fucking slinging spells with us.
Hell yeah, and I'm gonna follow this guy home too because he lives close to me.
That might be the creepiest thing you've ever said.
I'm not just gonna follow him on Twitter. I'm also gonna follow him to his household.
We'll tweet that shit out for Live tweet.
I'm gonna be on some kind of list somewhere.
If you're not on a
God
list, I'd
damn
be
it.
very
Honestly, if
shocked.
I'm not on a list already, fair point.
You're not playing your life right, son.
Yeah, and he is also on his Twitter. If you go to his Twitter, which go follow him. You can also see in his pinned tweet links to his YouTube, links to his Twitch, links to his Patreon. So go check out his videos, go see what's up. Standard, modern, legacy. So 2 formats that matter, and then standard.
Yeet.
Which has been our mantra since day one.
Yeah, and then you fucking join us in this thing, and then it's like, hey, let's play standard, and I fucking ripped my hair out.
Well, I mean, standard is one of the only formats that's bringing me joy, and it's because I get to play with mill cards.
Fair.
Which I think is secretly, as much as some people want to shy away from it, mill is low key one of the most fun mechanics in Magic.
What is? I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Mill is low key one of the most fun.
Just because it basically says I don't give a fuck what you're doing. I'm gonna kill you with a different way that you're not expecting.
Yeah, it takes the core competencies of Magic and flips them and says, "Oh yeah, this doesn't matter. This normal thing that I started learning how to play, that 20 life thing, throw it in the trash. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna do something different." And that's why I've always loved Magic. Matt, is there any other announcements that we want to make before we send this one off?
Fucking Eternal Weekend's coming up. Go.
Yeah, baby. Best weekend of the year.
Yeah, I'm going to be slinging some mocks in.
Best week. Because our invitational tournament is probably the best week.
Yes.
This is close second.
I'm going to get to play my favorite format. So if you guys want to draft or something, go fuck yourselves. I'm going to be playing Vintage all weekend.
Well, I will be playing Legacy. And to nobody's surprise, I'll be playing Death and Taxes because duh.
Yeah.
You have waffled back and forth on what deck you're going to play, but you finally landed on what exactly?
PO.
Yeah, you're going to be playing a little bit of Paradoxical Outcome. A little bit of combo action.
A little bit. Shocker.
Going to be storming off, making some little monk tokens. Going to be sending people to monk school where they're going to learn how to...
Brian Koval token.
Gotta love that Brian Koval token. This is a Pittsburgh-themed episode. We got the Crocodile, Pittsburgh guy, Koval, Pittsburgh guy, me, Pittsburgh
Eternal
guy.
Weekend.
You, former Pittsburgh guy. Eternal Weekend, Pittsburgh
Weekend.
team. Yeah, Pittsburgh guy.
Pittsburgh guy, close enough.
Yeah, Pittsburgh. Not a great city, but a city.
It's a fun city.
It's an alright city. It exists. I will give it the fact that it exists.
It does exist. They do exist.
Fetch and Shock does exist.
I don't remember what that's from. The Keebler Elves? No.
Yeah, it 100% is the Keebler Elves thing. Yeah, because
it's the M&Ms.
Or the M&Ms. Yeah, it was the Christmas one, the Christmas commercial where Santa Claus comes down the thing and he sees they do exist. He does exist.
And then they all pass out, and it's Santa. I hate it. Do you know when the last time I saw that was?
Probably a fucking 5 years ago.
At least more than that. And I
that
remember it
children.
verbatim. Yep.
It does exist.
Jesus Christ. This is why my brain works differently.
Yeah, that is just proof positive that Matt's brain is on some other different plane.
It's not a better one. It's not a worse one.
No, we're all on like Innistrad or something, and you're just on fucking like Alara or something, just over there fucking off.
I'm just somewhere. I don't know where.
Somewhere that has zero similarities to our plane.
That took a fucking weird turn in our podcast.
Doesn't it always?
Yes, it always does.
Oh, Fact and Shock. We do exist. That's the title of the episode.
People won't get it until they listen to the very end.
Yep. Yeah, episode 21. They do exist.
They do exist, yeah. That's great.
Oh, that's great. If you listened this far and you get it, why the episode is named, tweet at us. And just because I want to see how many people actually get this deep in the episode. So please, please, please go onto Twitter, send us a tweet, just reply to the tweet that I put out in the morning when this episode goes live. And yeah, just reply to that tweet. Just saying
they do exist. Fantastic.
Oh, because
all right, my dude.
This is a nice little experiment. Oh, god damn it. Yeah, well, dude. Oh, if you wanna, I don't think we plugged ourselves in like the longest time.
Oh no, yeah,
I think we just forget to do that.
that.
Yeah, so if you
Yeah,
want
we
to follow
suck at
Fetch
it.
and Chalk on Twitter, follow us at Fetch_Chalk. If you want to follow me, Tyler, I'm at Basic Land Bin, and if you want to follow Matt, which God knows why you would want to do that, it is at It's Bot. Yeah,
You're a
and
funny guy.
Yeah, and also go check out Flipside Gaming, because if you use code Fetch at checkout, you get 10% off, and it helps the podcast a lot. So go help us out. Thank you.
Yeah, you fucking dum-dums. Go do it.
Look at that. We remembered the plugs. We are a real team now.
We did it.
We really strayed away from our roots there for probably like 2 weeks. I feel like we have not done this in a while.
That's all right.
Fuck it, we do what we want.
Yeah.
All right.
It's our podcast. We do what we want.
We'll see you next week, dude.
Yeah, sounds good, bud.
Peace out, nerd!
Later.